The Republican Party, who's about to take control in the 2023 majority in Congress, we're learning more and more about how they were trying to steal the 2020 election, even before and even after January 6th. In text messages between Republican Congressman and Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff to Donald Trump, they were giving all kinds of plots and theories as to how they could steal the election away from Joe Biden, and even threatening military action, but more on that in a few moments. Now, I'm not going to read you all the text messages, but I think we need to actually know what these text messages mean. And a lot of them are from the usual suspects. Paul Gosar, for one, and Cynthia Loomis, for another. Of course, Jim Jordan, congressman from Ohio, who's going to possibly be either chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. It frightens me and it should frighten you about these people taking back power in Congress. Because they've already made their intentions as to what they're going to do if and when they do take back power. But the most chilling text messages, I should say, come from Ralph Norman, congressman from South Carolina. His text messages are the most frightening of all, and they should frighten you as well as they do me. Now, one text message, he says, Mark, in seeing what's happening so quickly and reading about Dominion lawsuits attempting to stop any meaningful investigation, we are at a point of no return in saving our republic. Our last hope is invoking martial law. Please urge the president to do so. Make sure you understand what this man is asking for in that first text message. Make sure you understand what he is suggesting. Now, this other text message from him says, guys, if there is ever a time to stand with our leader who has strengthened our military, stood for the life of the unborn, supported Israel, built the wall, appointed conservative judges, etc., and we lay down and abandon him just because the biased media has called the election, now is the time to fight and advocate for a recount in Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. What our delegation is doing in South Carolina is gathering on the State House steps on Tuesday to advocate for standing with our president and other opinions that are at our disposal. For anyone at our disposal. For anyone willing to discuss our game plan, let me or anyone else know, and let's get on a conference call with concrete plans of action. I will go anywhere, anytime to help our cause. Bottom line, it's time we fight for the one person who has changed this country way too soon to give in now. Make no mistake of what Norman is actually saying. This man wanted to invoke martial law to keep Donald Trump in power, even knowing that Donald Trump lost the election. And the reference to his second text here, calling for recounts in Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, they've already had the recounts, and the recounts, and the recounts. They hired outside agencies and showed that there was no voting fraud that swung the election to Biden, but there was voting fraud that attempted to swing the vote from the election to Trump. In the end of the day, this man is advocating for the end of our Constitution through military rule. Just not to stop a terrorist attack, not to stop an oppressive government from taking us over, but to keep one man in power. Make no mistake about that. And these are the people who are going to take over Congress next year. That should frighten the hell out of all of us in this country. If that doesn't, then you are no longer, then you are just blind to the obvious truth of what these people were trying to do. And more to the point, what they want to do again once they get power. Because they're not going to work for the American people. They're not going to work for you and me. They're going to work for only one person and one person only. Donald Trump. Stop this nightmare. If it were up to me right now, Newman and the rest of these text messages, these idiots who send text messages to Mark Meadows, the 14th Amendment would be enforced and all of them would be removed from office. Because what they are advocating for in these text messages, and I've read them all. Now, Newman's the one that hangs himself in all of these text messages the most, but all of them advocate for the end of our Constitution, and all of them are evidence of high treason against the United States government. They all need to be removed legally by the 14th Amendment. This situation needs to be dead-ended now. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.